In this episode of Substitute Teacher Talk, I wanted to quickly go over the pay for substitute teachers and the compensation. It's going to be greatly varying between school districts and pretty varying in your county. And I'll preface what I'm going to tell you about the numbers by saying that I live in San Diego County, and I'm basically giving you the compensation for here and what it is. So it could be greatly varying depending on where you live. So it's going to be different between school districts. For San Diego County, I've seen it as low as $95 a day and as high as $150 a day. And you are paid a daily rate. So you're not paid by the hour or anything like that. So they expect you to be there and take care of business, even though your set schedule may end at a certain time. You may have to do a couple extra things at the end of the day. So I'm guessing that's why they pay you a daily rate as opposed to a pay by the hour or by the minute or by the second. So the only time this way it's going to be changing or diverging from that is when you do get the long-term pay. And some of the districts I've seen, they pay it's like $10 more, $15 more, and it jumps up, I believe, after the 10th day of the same classroom assignment, and it is retroactive as well. So, for example, you may get some of those where pretty common is maternity leave, as well as some kind of like major health issues. And another one that I've heard about, I haven't encountered myself, but I've heard of it, was when a teacher, she quit. She quit kind of toward the end of the school year. I've recently heard about this from another sub. And they brought him in to kind of finish out the school year. So, pretty bad situation. The teacher quits and chooses not to finish out the school year. So I've never really heard about that or knew that would even happen before hearing about something like that. So those are the kind of situations here. So as I said, $10 to $15 extra per day, and typically, it's going to change depending on school districts, but pretty consistently what I've heard is beginning on the 10th day of the assignment, the long-term rate kicks in and it is retroactive. Compensation as well, it's going to be greatly varying if there's ever a strike. And it seems that like in San Diego County, there is pretty across-the-board strike pay. The daily rate's $250 a day. And not really sure where they came up with that number, but I'm guessing it's where they're trying to, they're in a desperate situation to get people and to bring them in, and so they may have people who are driving from a great, pretty further distance, so they're trying to lure people in to be able to come in there to keep the school running and going. So that's why they do that. So as I said before, this is for San Diego County. May greatly be varying for wherever you live. So there is strike pay. They're not going to close schools. They're trying to keep them open and running and keep providing services to the children. So, and closing part about this is that it's pretty important to have a second job if you want to be independent and try to make it financially as a substitute teacher. So I have a second job. I know. Pretty frequently hear about other substitute teachers. They have jobs as well. So others, their mothers, wives, and their husband is the main income earner for the family, and they're just doing this to make a little bit extra income as well for the family, and so they don't necessarily need to make quite a bit of money but it's just supplemental income for the family. But it's pretty important for me for my finances and my budget that I have a second job, so that's something you may need to consider, because it's where I live, it's pretty costly and expensive, so there's just no way I could be able to make it without that. So actually I have two other jobs, so that's just a necessity. That's just kind of the reality of the situation until I do go back to school and get the credential and begin at either a high school or middle school. So that's just how that is. So I hope this helps out, and if you have any other questions or video requests, as a series, let me know down in the description box, and I'll see you soon.